While Bashaud Breeland was a pretty solid player and a veteran presence, I have to say, looking at his Twitter account, it reminded me of a 16-year-old girl posting song lyrics. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grossi, and some news coming out of the Packer camp. Bashaud Breeland, a veteran cornerback that I know a lot of you, including myself, was very excited to have on the team. He is no longer with the team as he signed a one-year deal worth up to $5 million with the Kansas City Chiefs today. But before we break that down, you got less than 2 weeks, folks. 2 weeks to order some Packcast merch. They come in all the different colors of football teams like the Bears and the Vikings and, of course, the Green Bay Packers. You can get the hoodie, you can get the t-shirt, the long-sleeve shirt, or you could even get a jersey tee. Check out bonfire.com/Packcast to get yours before they're gone. Also, a big shout-out to all of the Patreons from patreon.com/Tom Grossi Comedy. Check out patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy for some cool rewards. Thank you for the support. Now, Breeland, I was pretty content with him. He was young, 27 years old. He played 7 games with the Packers last year, obviously had injury issues, had 5 starts, and in those he had 2 picks, one which was a pick 6, only 4 passes defended, and 20 tackles total. So while those numbers didn't blow anybody away, I thought that he definitely should have gotten looked at, considering he failed a physical last year, which voided him of a 3-year deal that he had signed earlier. He played obviously well with the Redskins when he was tenured under them, but combined with the injuries, and I guess they just wanted to focus on the guys that they drafted. They didn't see enough value in Breeland. Now, I didn't think it was a bad idea to keep him around because right now we got Jaire Alexander, Kevin King, Josh Jackson, Tony Brown, and also Will Redmond. Now, if you have no idea who Will Redmond is, that's because he hasn't really done much of anything yet. So that's a total, let's see, and what happens with him. And Tony Brown, he played 11 games, only started 3, looked okay. Again, nothing real special. The things that the Packers really are going to need, they're going to need one of 2 guys to step up. Jaire Alexander, he already looks like he's going to be a stud, as seen from last season, playing very, very well. Hopefully he'll emerge as a Pro Bowl player, and I mean a real Pro Bowl, not just because he gets lots of retweets this year, and I have no doubt that he will do that. But Kevin King, in the last 2 years, obviously we drafted him real early, but has only played 11 games, has only started 11 games in the past 2 seasons, has a plethora of injury issues. I know the Packers are really going to be pushing for him to make that next step as he's coming into his 3rd season. It's plagued with injury problems and really needs to kind of play up to his position where he was drafted. And then Josh Jackson, again, showed like glimmers of being good, but as I said when we drafted him, as I said when we were thinking about drafting him, and as I said last year, the guy, he needs work. He really needs experience underneath his belt. So I'm hoping he can make that sophomore leap or that sophomore jump and become one of those starting players. Because if Kevin King, winds up not being reliable like he hasn't been in the last 2 seasons, a lot of it's going to fall on Josh Jackson. And, if he fails to do that, we got problems. So that being said, looking ahead at the draft, I would not be surprised if potentially we use our number 30 pick from the Saints or our 2nd round pick to potentially snag a cornerback. And I know that we already, we could use some more safety help. We could use some more pass rusher help, even though we just picked up 2, or some O-line help. But I wouldn't be surprised if within the 1st or 2nd round, we wind up picking a cornerback again, just to shore up that position and at least get someone else that can rotate out and just learn, and then hopefully break out and to be a stud. Maybe we'll even go in the later rounds for a cornerback, but God, I feel like it's deja vu all over again, the fact that we need a cornerback. I'm hoping Jaire Alexander continues his trajectory, and then either Kevin King or Josh Jackson step up. But I have some hope. I just hope it's not blasted into a million pieces. And then into some other quick little tidbit news. I know all of you, there's a lot of people that were not too happy about my Jordy Nelson video and saying, listen, I love Jordy to death, but I don't think he's coming back to the Packers. Apparently visiting with the Seattle Seahawks. Kill me. That's literally one of the worst teams that he could possibly sign with, the blue incarnations of Satan. The only thing that could be worse is with like the Vikings, the Bears. But apparently the Patriots are also interested in him. I could totally see the Patriots picking him up and, potentially getting him a Super Bowl ring. The Raiders are apparently interested in him as well, potentially signing him for a cheaper contract than what they originally had for him. And then the other news was Randall Cobb apparently also garnering some interest from the Dallas Cowboys, which I would not be terribly surprised considering they just lost Cole Beasley. They probably want another speedy receiver potentially to fit in the slot who can fill that position. So maybe they'll sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal and just see if Cobb can make it happen. Wouldn't be the worst thing for Dak Prescott, but it definitely would feel dirty seeing Randall Cobb in a Cowboys uniform. God, that would be gross. Either way, if they go to the Seahawks, being Jordy Nelson, or they go to the Cowboys, being Randall Cobb, I'm most likely going to cry that evening. So stay tuned. We'll be sure to report that as soon as that comes out. But let me know what you think down below about Breeland. Do you think we're going to need to address cornerback in the draft? And what do you think about Jordy and Cobb playing on different teams? God, just not the Seahawks. I can tolerate the Patriots because good for Jordy. I just want nothing but success for him, but God, not the Seahawks. But let me know what you think down below. You can always send me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossI Comedy, at TomGrossiComedy on all the social media, including Patreon. Check out Packcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course here on YouTube multiple times per week. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.